At Wellesley, Brookline, cities and towns that have so much more resources than the city of Boston. People who actually have more financial support. We need to do everything in our power and making sure that we're setting up them for success, right? And whatever success looks like.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Hey there, everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. It's about time to check back in with the whole migrant crisis situation here in the Northeast. Let's focus on Boston, where for months they've been crying that they are at
capacity.
Man, I love using that clip. It's so fitting. Boston has been at capacity for a long time now, and they're trying to find new and more creative ways of housing these migrants. After all, they are one of the 8 sanctuary cities in the state of Massachusetts. But they're running out of options at this point, and one councilwoman from Boston has suggested that maybe the solution is not in Boston. Maybe Boston has to look for other resources. And by other resources, they mean the money in the outside suburbs of Boston, aka other people's money. We're going to talk all about this creative solution and what is happening in Boston right now with the migrant crisis. But before we do, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows. And if you like what you see here in this or any other video on this channel, smash that thumbs up button, like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that really, really good stuff, because all that feeds the YouTube algorithm.
Feed me.
Thank you guys so much for all that you do in helping to grow the channel. It's really making a difference, especially lately. It's really picked up around here, and it's all because of you guys, so thank you so much for that. And for all you newbies out there, I hope that this video is the one that earns your subscription. I hope you continue to join us as we talk about the Boston migrant crisis and the efforts of one member of the city council to spend other people's money. We begin with a story about a rec center in the Roxbury section of Boston that has been converted into a migrant shelter that can hold about 100 families or so, and it's only been open for about a week, but it's already at
Capacity.
It has only been open a week, but the new shelter housing migrant families in Roxbury almost full here.
Right, and local lawmakers are worried about this. They say it should be a group effort with surrounding towns and cities to address this need as a community, really. NBC 10's Manash Kwangwari live this morning with the options to meet the need that are on the table right now, Manash.
Now notice how they're framing the story immediately. Surrounding communities around Boston are being called upon to step up to meet the needs that Boston can't meet. Now, how would a municipality in a suburb, which is smaller clearly than Boston, be able to meet those needs? It has nothing to do with city budgets or town budgets. It has to do with the affluence of those areas, as you'll see.
Well, it's options that many city and state leaders are still trying to figure out right now. Initially, this Melania Cass Recreation Center here on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard was to accommodate the migrants that we once saw sleeping on the floor at the Logan Airport, but now families from other temporary housing predicaments, as well as families from a Revere hotel, are now moving in. Even so, nearing capacity this quick should not come as a surprise. The site can fit 100 families of 4, and last week, an official here telling us 50 families of 4 moved in here in just the first few days.
Now, this center was the center of controversy because the people in the community, in the Roxbury area, did not want it. Let's flash back to the beginning of the month when this rec center turned migrant center was just about ready to open.
None of us should stand by while women, children, and families sleep outside or in an airport who look like us.
Wait. What did you just say?
Well, that's a little bit racist, isn't it? I mean, what if these people didn't look like that state senator right there? Would they have been left out into the cold, left on the floors of Logan Airport? It's kind of a racist thing to say, but it's definitely a Democrat virtue signal if I've ever heard one.
Governor Maura Healey and Boston's Mayor Michelle Wu took a tour of the facility before some of the families arrived.
We know that something has to be done. Again, Boston is already stepping up in many ways, and we are continuing to feel the impacts.
But some are criticizing the decision to temporarily convert the state-owned facility, which they...
Now look at that sign right there. Why Roxbury? Try Wellesley. This is actually a Republican holding up this sign. So maybe Julia Mejia got the idea about bringing migrants to surrounding communities, surrounding suburbs from this Republican, who, by the way, his name is Robert Burke, I believe, and he's run for Congress before in this area. Interesting idea that a Democrat got an idea from a Republican about the migrant crisis here. And I'm not saying it's a very good one either, as we'll see later on.
They say provides critical sports and programs to this community.
So they were talking about, oh, we need to get the kids off the street. We need to give them programs because they're the future for us. Well, this is how you're treating the future, by kicking them out of their own place.
The rec center will close through May. In exchange for using the facility now, the state plans to update the center by summer.
So this center is going to be used for the first half of the year, basically. And after that, the community might get some bone thrown at them for maybe, some improvements to the rec center. That's the trade-off here. Obviously, some residents there don't like that. But back to the current story.
Governor Maura Healey has made it clear this is a temporary living arrangement. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu doubling down this week, saying her administration is still trying to find a more stable home for the migrants. But Boston Councilor Julia Mejia says that place can't be in Boston. And last night she gave a few options.
Dedham, Wellesley, Brookline, cities and towns that have so much more resources than the city of Boston, people who actually have more financial support. We need to do everything in our power and making sure that we're setting up them for success, right? And whatever success looks like.
So the suburbs that Mejia chose, Dedham, Wellesley, Brookline, they are not sanctuary jurisdictions. In fact, there are only 8 sanctuary jurisdictions in Massachusetts. They are, and I have a list here, I had to write this down, Amherst, Boston, Cambridge, Concord, Chelsea, Newton, Northampton, and Somerville. Glad we got through that. You didn't hear Dedham, you didn't hear Wellesley, you didn't hear Brookline. So this councilwoman is suggesting forcing or coercing, I guess, other non-sanctuary jurisdictions to take migrants, and she's doing so while checking the pockets of the people who live in those suburbs. I just want to go back really quickly, listen to what she had to say again.
Cities and towns that have so much more resources than the city of Boston, people who actually have more financial support.
Hey, you steal my money?
No, you don't understand. I wasn't trying to take it out.
I know what you tried to do. No, get out there. Don't come back here again.
Checking people's pockets in suburbs and suggesting that they should take in migrants. It's not necessarily about the city budgets. It's about the budgets of the people who live in those suburbs. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So to illustrate my point that Julia Mejia is talking about individuals using their resources to help fund migrants and support migrants rather than municipalities, let's go through some numbers real quick about all these jurisdictions. Boston has a population of about 655,000 people. They have a median individual income of $37,500 and a median household income of about $76,000 per year. Brookline, by comparison, is much smaller. It's about 10 times smaller, approximately 59,000 people, but the median individual income is much higher at approximately $61,000, with a median household income of $113,000. See where I'm going here? Wellesley is even smaller at a population of approximately 29,000 people, with a median individual income of $54,000 and a household median income of, get this, approximately $213,000. Finally, Dedham, a smaller population still of around 25,000, with a median individual income of approximately $65,000 a year and a median household income of approximately $118,000. It's not about the town budgets. It's not about the town's resources. It's about coercing people, individuals, to house migrants because they got it like that. They got the money for it in comparison to the people in Boston who don't have the individual resources that the people living in the suburbs do. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. So here's a story from the NBC affiliate in Boston talking about a woman living in Brookline, one of those suburbs that we were just talking about previously, voluntarily taking in a migrant family and showing how wonderful and lovely it is that she's doing it.
Story you'll only see here on NBC 10 Boston. A migrant family from Haiti is sharing their experience. They're searching for shelter in the Boston area and then recently found a host home in Brookline. And now they're looking for jobs. As NBC 10's Aaron Logan reports, they say these last few weeks have been life-changing.
Already promoting the same line that Julia Mejia was talking about. Look how lovely it is that this woman in this suburb voluntarily hosted a migrant family. But as you'll see, this is going to turn very cringy very quickly.
It's been an emotional few weeks for Wildande Joseph and her husband. First, sleeping on the floor at Logan Airport, then in Children's Hospital with their 2-year-old daughter who got very sick.
Me siento mal. Es muy difícil este tiempo.
Now, for those of you who don't understand Spanish, she was talking about that her child was feeling very ill, and the reporter was saying back that it was very difficult for her. And of course, nobody wants to hear about a mother struggling with an ailing child in the hospital. That's horrible. I don't know why they didn't put subtitles on this, and they don't throughout the entire thing. Luckily, I understand a little bit of Spanish, and I'll do my best to help translate what I can.
Show off! She felt bad, as any mother would. Now things are looking much brighter as they've been welcomed into Lisa Hillenbrand's Brookline apartment.
Tu niña es muy alegre ahora. Sí.
So the reporter asked if her child was feeling happier now, and the mother said, yes, she is.
Alegre. Cuando se levanta en la mañana, se dice, ay, Lisa.
Oh.
Because the child gets up in the morning and says, hello to Lisa, who is the host person here. Okay, here we go.
She says her daughter is very happy. When she wakes up in the morning, she says, hi, Lisa, and everyone starts the day smiling.
Oh, look at that. My Spanish is actually still pretty good. Shout out to Chiefs Bay High School and Manhattan College for the entry-level Spanish classes.
It's a delight, and it's really fun having them. What I realized is there's so much prejudice against refugees, mostly because people don't know them.
Lisa says she feels like she has her own personal chef, as Wildande loves cooking.
¿Te gusta la ocupación?
Sí. In fact,
so Wildanda loves cooking, and Lisa's getting a free chef. Thanks for taking in a migrant family. This has the worst two things I can see. It's liberal white saviorhood, basically. This woman, Lisa, being the savior of this family, and in exchange, she gets a personal chef. Wouldn't you want a migrant family under those circumstances? You get a free chef, you get to feel good about yourself, and you get the virtue signal and show everybody up about how much better you are.
Hell yes, white savior Barbie.
Listen, I'm very happy that there are people out there who will open their homes up, but to put it on TV like this and to frame it the way that they're doing it, NBC is almost promoting. It's like an infomercial for adopting your own migrant family. Look at the benefits that you get. I'm sure that this woman, Lisa, didn't mean for it to come off this way, but that's how it's coming off a little bit, don't you think?
In fact, her goal is to open up her own restaurant. The couple has their work permits and they've been taking English classes.
Yo cualquier trabajo va a hacer para guardar mi dinero para hacer mi futuro.
They're open to work anywhere to save money for their future.
And again, just promoting the narrative, how this is the American dream for these migrants who did not come here through the normal means of immigration, really want to live the American dream. They want to open a restaurant. They want to get their education. They want to learn English, all these lovely things. Again, they're selling the people of Boston and the outer area surrounding it on getting their own migrant and hosting their own migrant. It feels just really cringy here.
Like slavery.
Meantime, they're enjoying their time with Lisa, their new friend for life, and their daughter's new grandmother.
All right, come on. Come on. They've known each other for how long, and already that's the grandmother? We're overplaying the hand just a little bit.
They are hardworking. They want to learn. They want to be successful. And I feel great helping, and I get to understand the refugee crisis from the inside.
Lisa says she's so impressed by the number of people she's met right here at Brookline Town Hall meetings who've been stepping up and hosting families. She's hopeful more will do the same in the coming days and weeks.
Tell me that doesn't come off as a government-sponsored ad for hosting a migrant family in Brookline, which just happened to be one of the areas that Boston councilwoman was referring to. And it's an area that's also not a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Too many coincidences.
I certainly applaud the altruistic nature of people who will host a migrant family. It's a beautiful thing to help another human being, and I think we should all do it when we can. But this whole presentation in this story felt like a sales pitch to others to do the same. And I can't help but think about all the other migrant horror stories that we've been hearing in the People's Republic of New York City, with gangs on mopeds, cops getting beat up, fleeing jurisdictions, fleeing the law. And then to see a story like this, while heartening, reminds me that there are dangers in the activities that Lisa and other people in Brookline may be undertaking here. What are the safeguards of this volunteer program and whatnot? But you don't get all that. What you get is as close to a propaganda piece as you can get from this NBC affiliate in Boston, trying to sell people on what the politicians in Boston want the outer suburbs to do. To me, there's too much of a connect between all these stories trying to promote hosting migrants voluntarily to alleviate the self-imposed burden of these sanctuary jurisdictions. It screams of desperation because they're all at capacity, and I'm scared that we're going to see a story about a host of a migrant family having some harm befall them. It's just a matter of time, in my opinion, unfortunately, because government is not really doing their job here. But listen, that's just my opinion on the whole situation. You're free to disagree with me as much as you want. In fact, if you want to talk about it in the comments, let's talk about it. Do you believe that people should be voluntarily hosting migrants? Is it up to them to make the choice? Should government seek to impose that upon them? Let's talk about it in the comments. And please, as always, like and share the video with your friends, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I'll see you guys in the comments discussing this story, along with all the other shenanigans and buffoonery happening every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.